stream. We're on Rumble, we're on Facebook, I think I'm on Instagram. We're on a lot
Cool.
of bunch of different things. And now we can see the chat, which, instead of looking at the phone, which is a big
Oh,
deal.
that's much nicer.
And I can pin it. Look, I can go.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Um, so anyway, so it's got a lot of
Just
bells and
graded
whistles.
since I was here last.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had a wonderful, actually 2 meetings with your mom. We had just the best time. She's such as, she's a real, she has real mastery of, she's like, she's a yogini. I mean, she's the real deal. And I love her humility and like her ability. I mean, you don't get many people who say, like, I have issues. Sometimes that's something that I say a lot, that people don't expect to hear from folks. But anyway, so I really had a great our first one. We did it before I had 50,000 subscribers. It was canceled. YouTube took down the whole platform.
Oh, did they? I
Yeah,
didn't know.
like
Man, it's
like
been a minute since I've been here. I didn't realize
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was the fifth channel, and then like a week later, they took down one of my backup channels. It's been
Oh,
like, but I have this channel left, and hopefully everything will be okay. We're being very cautious now, so we're, um, so but Hilla said that we have a lot of people who are enjoying the product, but we don't have a lot of people who are doing the business.
hmm.
So I thought, I mean, I think a lot of people know. I don't know. Are there people up here? There are 5 people, folks, but that'll probably get bigger. There are a lot of people that know your story. I mean, we know your story through your story, and also your mom went through it again, twice. Once was taken down, but I had saved a recording. I saved a recording of it, so I was able to put
Good.
to bring it back, and then we did a second one. Um, but we have a lot of people that are enjoying the product, and I mean, I looked at a video today about Tesla and about the 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 use of electrons, how everything is really electric, everything is a charge, and that's why ASEA is so amazing, because we're dealing with charged particles, and you're a scientist also, and so that factors in. You understand what redox. I mean, honestly, as a chemistry teacher, that was one of the hardest things to explain, even to myself. I mean, how the whole redox the battery situation, and the way, salt bridges and all that was quite complex, and a little bit unbelievable. I mean, I wonder if somebody made it up. No, but you can now buy XRP in New York State. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Is she the granddaughter of Tesla? You mean Danielle? I don't think so.
No,
Not that
not
I know of.
that
But
I'm aware of. I wish that'd be great.
I don't think he did a lot of. Did he have kids? I mean, I know he wasn't married.
Yeah. Well, who knows? So
Right,
if someone
right.
is, we probably wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
there's a lot of weird stuff about time travel, and that
Yeah.
we don't really know about. And he was friends with Mr. T's uncle, John Trump. They were very close. They were neighbors, and also
Hmm.
it's possible that some of the formulas that Nikolai had was given to Mr. T's uncle. I mean, there's a lot we don't know yet. And they were dealing with time machines. He had developed a time machine, so this we just don't know what's going on in general.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We know that Danielle had a tremendous experience, and she was a skeptic, and that's important. She was not down for the struggle with ASEA, man. She was like, I'm not doing this. And her mom I guess, just sort of convinced her, begged her, or whatever. And eventually Danielle said, okay, I'll try it. And it completely cleared up her brain issue. There was the doctors had basically given up and said, you're just going to have to go through life like this. And I know for me, I mean, personally, I had a very bad, I had like a real pain in my foot, and nothing seemed to be I mean, I didn't, you know, I don't go to doctors, period. Um, but it's gone away now. I mean, and I've been taking ASEA for a couple of months, and I noticed my focus is good, all that. But I think, I don't know if there are a lot of people. We have 61 people. Okay, so we do have a lot of people. So I think we're all aware of the benefits of ASEA, but I want you to explain, if you could, if you would, explain like how you see it as a business and how one could do it. And also, you know, just explain how you, like Danielle made a tremendous transition from being a scientist, which is a very kind of like set process in terms of making a living. I mean, you work for somebody, you work in a lab, you know, it's a, you know, to doing this kind of business, you know, which is radically different, and I might add, outside of the corporate mainstream.
Yes.
It's not a mainstream gig, man. It's like,
Yeah.
and you get paid like without, you know. Yeah, anyway, I'll let Danielle explain it, but I'm looking for a few people really in the community to start looking at as a business. And you know, you can also mention Jay, because they work with Jay, and I think he's just a brilliant businessman. I know you once mentioned that he was able to do things that took you many years in a short time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's start back at the beginning a little bit. I got my degree in biology. I went through kind of the traditional way society says we should grow up, right? Do well in school, go to a good university, graduate top of your class, you know, get a good job. And that's the track I was on. 2 years out from my time out of university, I was hit by a drunk driver. And that's when, Guru, my life just went upside down. And I'll tell you what, the physical aspect of it was intense. You know, I couldn't handle any sort of light, any sort of noise. I couldn't focus for extended periods. I was having a lot of physical symptoms. But at the same time, I was financially freaking out because I couldn't pay rent because I didn't have an income coming in. I wanted to work. You know, I would attempt to work and I couldn't remember things. I couldn't remember what I just said. I'd write a to-do list and then I'd look and I'd make the same to-do list and there they'd both be right next to each other and I'd forgotten. I couldn't function. My brain wasn't there. And so I lost my job. They told me, we'll hire you back if you get better, but like we need someone functioning in this role. And I found myself in a situation where I had to move back in with my parents. You know, I was 23 years old. I don't know how many of us really have a plan B or a larger perspective on our financial health at the age of 23, but I did not. And I ended up having to just release the life I had known and the independence that I had gained. You know, I had worked since I was 16. As soon as they let me, as soon as I was allowed to, I started to earn, bought my first car. You know, I've always been a hard worker. And when that happened, I couldn't unknow that, you know, if you lose your health, you impact your ability to earn money. And I did not want to be dependent on the government. I didn't want to ask for someone to pay me to sit at home and not feel well. And as I got on my journey of trying to recover, you know, I've shared this story here in the brief version for those of you that maybe I haven't had the pleasure of connecting with yet. I was told after a year this was my new normal. Doctors said I would do no further healing. I was still dealing with all of my symptoms. And we kept searching, we kept looking, and an acupuncturist recommended the ASEA. So back then it was just the blue bottle. There was nothing else. There was no Renew 28. It was just the liquid redox. The biologist in me thought it was BS, thought it sounded too good to be true, thought there was no way they had done what they say they had done. After 6 months of that, I started using it. And it didn't happen immediately. I didn't have results immediately, but 3 months into using it, the pounding stopped in my head for the first time. It had been there for 2 years. And someone just wrote, it's an understatement, losing your health. Yeah, it was, I lost, it felt like part of my life. You know, the person that I used to be had died and I couldn't show up in the world as I used to. I mean, it was very intense. So using this, my health started to get restored. And as my body started to heal itself, as I started to be able to think again, get the words out I wanted to, have energy, I started asking myself, well, what do I want to do to create income? Because obviously in this world, we need money. It is part of what allows us to be able to produce, to give, whatever it is. And I couldn't go back to a 9 to 5. I don't know how to describe it, except that felt like the most unstable thing. It was like I'd gotten pulled, from the matrix. It was like all of a sudden I could see that what society had told me was so wonderful really wasn't. I started to question everything that I had ever been told. I had a massive spiritual awakening. And I said to myself, okay, I'm supposed to be doing something that has more purpose behind it. I'm supposed to be waking other people up to the fact that they have a choice, that they don't need to just go on this circuit, from work to home to work to home and only get 2 weeks off a year. And like, it's crazy. You got to live life. We came here to live. And my mom, you all have met her. She's a wonderful human being. She said to me, Danielle, you should do ASEA. And I don't know how many of you have had this reaction to learning that ASEA is a network marketing company, but the programming that I had been fed my whole life, the beliefs that had been put into me was that network marketing was a bad thing, that it was something that sleazy people did, that it took advantage of people, and that it was not good, not to associate yourself with it. And my mom challenged me. She said, why do you feel that way? And it was interesting because I had absolutely nothing to base that off of, like nothing except for popular culture, And I said to myself, well, I don't know. And she said, well, why don't you come and meet the founder of the company, come to an event, see what these people are actually doing, what their purpose is, what their mission is, what their vision is. And I thought, all right, I'll go to one of these things. And then, I'll know. I'll run it through my own truth center. So I'll really know. And I did. I went with her. It was called the Ethos Academy. Tyler Norton, he founded this with his dad, Vertus Norton. After a pharmaceutical company tried to buy it and shelve it, they said no to that buyout. They said, this is something people need. They landed on network marketing because this requires an explanation. No one knows what the heck redox signaling is. And even us as scientists, right? We're like still trying to wrap our heads around it. And how do you explain it to somebody else? But they landed on word of mouth. They founded ASEA as a network marketing company. And that was over 13 years ago. And I started to hear from him about their vision for serving people, for bringing this to others, for lifting humanity, for being a positive force in the world. And I just thought, this is what I'm meant to do. This allows me to work when I want. No one's telling me what to do, when to do it. I have complete flexibility of my time. And if I need to take time away, I can. I was just telling you all the places I've traveled just this year. I've been gone at least 3 times in the last 2 months. And it's been wonderful. I can do business from my phone, which is like phenomenal. There's no overhead. There is absolutely no costs for me to run this. And it's interesting because the only way I get paid is if I change people's lives. Like hearing you, watching you, your hair's growing back. I'm seeing discomfort get removed from your body. I'm seeing a vibrancy and a life force like be breathed back into you. And I have seen that now 1,000-fold. And it's something that I can't think of a better way to spend my time and to spend my life doing. Helping other people feel better. We're a collective, right? We're all connected. We know this very well. And the fear and the intensity that's in the population right now, I want to be the force, right? Only light can get rid of darkness. And so I am just this beacon of light out there, hope for people's health, hope for people to create options for themselves. And I think the most impactful piece is the person you become when you're part of a business like this, because it's all about personal development. It's all about, look, as you grow as a person and you deal with your own BS in your own mind of the doubts and this and that, and you start to go, well, what is possible? Don't what's probable, right? You look at network marketing, the masses fail. Why? Because they're too afraid to look in the mirror on the hard day and continue going. They're too afraid to address their own stuff. They listen to the naysayers out there. But I'm telling you, don't look at the probability. Think possibility. Anything's possible. The masses don't get a lot. Don't follow the masses. Think independently and look at the possibility. I'm living proof. I'm a scientist. I don't know a thing about business, but I said, all right, this is something I could align with. My spirit resonates with this. I want to do this. And I just started to learn. There's a bajillion books. A friend of mine, she just published 10 things I wish I'd known about network marketing before I started. from a person who made it. And it's like, yeah, there are these like nuggets, like people that are successful turn around and they leave clues and they say, we want you to come with us. And so, Guru, you know, it's been, gosh, we're closing on 8 years that I have been sharing ASEA, that I said yes to kind of looking at the business side of things. And I don't even recognize the person I've become. If you looked at the Danielle 8 years ago, no way I would have gotten on this show with you. I'd been way too nervous. Now I don't even, we just pressed record like live. We didn't even make a plan about what we're going to talk about, because I have a confidence in myself. And what's beautiful is that confidence bleeds into my relationships. It bleeds into anything else, you know, that I want to do. So that's the other thing that I'll say is I've laid the pavement. Okay. When I first started this, people didn't know a thing about what redox signaling molecules were. No one was talking about it on YouTube. No one was talking about it on the internet. There wasn't a lot of resources. Now we have 4 calls a week where a member of the medical board answers questions. All we have to do is get people in front of the expert. You know, there's all these resources. Like I was cutting through a jungle. I have laid down pavement. You know, people just need to come onto the road now and it's smooth sailing. You do have to move your feet, right? I can't move your feet for you, but I can give you the road to walk. And if someone's interested in entrepreneurship, they're interested in doing something outside of the mainstream, outside of being a W-2 employee, like you can step into network marketing knowing that it is like, to me, one of the best ways to learn the foundational skill sets of what it means to work for yourself, to run a business. And it's something that I think everybody should do. I think when you turn 18, it's like everybody should be required to do 2 years in the industry. We'd have a better population, you know? And so our team, my mom, you see this dragonfly behind me? My mom calls us Team Dragonfly because dragonflies represent being a positive life force. They represent transformation. And that's what we do. And then, you know, as your ripple effect gets out there, you meet people like Jay and April from Spiritually Raw. They happen to, I used to live in the same city as them. I told a friend who told a friend of hers who owned a wellness studio, and they had an infrared sauna. Jay and April used to frequent it. And he mentioned to see it then every time. And they were like, enough, we don't want to hear it, we don't want to hear it. You know, and finally they said, okay, you know, we'll pay attention, and changed everything for them health-wise. And they felt a responsibility to bring it out on their platform, you know, and then connect with others. They accomplished what took me 7 years. They did in 7 months because they had a bigger vision. They had a different platform. It's just like, and I had laid the road, right? The road was paved so they could run. And that anyone has access to that. Absolutely anyone. So I have not been paying attention to the chat at all because I just was flowing. So let me look over there if you see anything you want me to address.
I just have to do one thing. Oh no, I don't have to do that. Yeah, we had apparently on my YouTube channel or on the oh, I know, I have to change the title. That's what it is. It's here. It's my fault. Okay. Yeah, I had the wrong title, and people were coming in for intel, and they were very upset that I was misleading them. And
we're learning this platform together.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I keep seeing ASEA, but you don't know what it is. I mean,
I keep seeing it. Okay, we can explain what it is for a minute if you want. Answer that.
You want to just give her a quick?
Yeah. So Lois, ASEA, it's a liquid, and it is redox signaling molecules. Redox signaling molecules are these tiny little molecules that do the communication in our body. When you have damage, they're the alert call that goes out. When your genes need to be activated, they're the signal that comes in and turns on that regulation of that gene or the antioxidant. You had a lot when you were young, and as you've gotten older, your body innately is making less. That's when the aging process starts. That's when, you know, we see we don't repair as fast from workouts, from a cut, from an injury, from an operation. You know, your body is less able to hear the call for help because there's a less signal. It's like having, you know, 2 bars of service versus 5 bars of service on a cell phone. These guys figured out how to do what scientists truly thought was impossible. They tried for decades to do it, and that's to stabilize these reductants and oxidants and put them, in a vessel so that you could replenish your body's supply. That's what they've done. It is life-changing and life-giving for people. This is something that when you drink it, it will do something different for you than it will do for me. It will do something different for your plants, something different for your animals, something different for your spouse, for your son or daughter. Each body, or each living thing, I should say, has damage in a different area. And when you amplify the call for help, it's going to signal to repair that area of damage. It might be a damaged cell in, the eye. It might be in the lung. It might be in the heart, the digestive system. It just depends on where you have damage. And so we see a breadth of things getting touched by these redox molecules, which quite frankly makes it sound too good to be true. I think most people go, wait a second, I don't understand. But the reason it can touch so much is that it's non-specific. This is not designed to go after one targeted thing. This is to reinstate the vitality and the communication that your body needs to find out where is it damaged, what got turned off because of toxicity, because of the aging process, because of stress. Our genes get switched off. That's, epigenetics. This activates them again. This is like the switch that allows it to come back online. Glutathione levels upregulate by like 800%, which is massive. Helps your system detoxify, right? We're constantly exposed with stuff. So this physical body needs to detoxify. It needs to stay in a good state. And so that's what it is. They also have a topical, which didn't exist when I first learned about it, but it's more concentrated. So you basically tell it where to go. So if you've got a stiff shoulder, you put it on the shoulder, 3 applications within 5 minutes, that shoulder, 9 out of 10 times, is going to start moving again. The discomfort's going to go down. It's a remarkable thing to watch. And I hopefully that was a good explanation. If anybody has questions, you can stick them in the chat.
Right. It's also my hair is growing back, and I have less wrinkles under my eyes, which it's a very powerful thing. But yeah, so that's the basic thing. It has this redox ability, but I really want to focus on the possibility of earning a nice living and not having to suffer through a 9-to-5 job, not having to be in the matrix. So how did you do it, and what did Jay do? And by the way, if you do decide to do it as a business, Jay will, I'm sure he will coach you. He will work with you.
Well, get this, Guru. I actually, I'm doing a boot camp. It's starting on Monday. I don't think you knew this. Starting March 6th for 21 days, I'm teaching people the basics on how to do a business like this if you want to do it solely online. If you just want to connect with people through social media, you can do that. I don't have a channel like you. I don't have a channel like, Jay and April. I'm sure most of the people listening don't have a channel like that. Doesn't matter. I have grown my business through social media for the last 3 years. There's ways to do it, and that's what I'll be teaching. And then I'm also doing a separate track, if people want to, on how to grow your business in your local community. If you want to network in your local community, some people are very interested in serving those that they love in their community, and I can teach you how to do that as well. So that starts on Monday. It's free to join. I'm telling you, I just want people to understand and to have the knowledge. It's taken me 8 years to gain. I'm going to be giving it to everybody if you're on our team. This is something that we already have over 300 people that have opted into Bootcamp. So it's going to be a collective learning, which I love, because you get around that energy. You get around energy of people that are looking at things differently, that are wanting to accomplish different things, that are wanting to create. I would have the project, look at it this way, become a thousandaire. What do I mean by that? Create an extra $1,000 for yourself a month. We all have residual bills that come in. My boyfriend and I were just talking about how our grocery bill this last month went up significantly. And he was like, why'd you buy so much? I said, I didn't. It's the same food. I just pay attention to the economy. And this is happening. So why not, if we're having to put out more, we're having to put out consistently for electric, for internet, for all the things so that we can live our life in this day and age, why not have something streaming in to you? A lot of people, we're not taught about multiple streams of income. We're not taught to think differently. And that's what I love about you. You think totally differently. And yes, there's things to do. You can get into crypto. You can get into 1,000 things. I'm not saying not to do that. I'm saying network marketing is a beautiful model when you're aligned with a company that has a unique product. You cannot get this anywhere else. Nowhere in the world. 13 years, they're the only one playing in this space. It is something that is profound, the impact of it. It's something that people need month after month. They want to continue to use it, which means you can do work once. Like I did work 8 years ago that I still get paid on now. Imagine that. If something were to happen to me, that person that I shared ASEA with 8 years ago is still buying it. It's not dependent on my health, you know? And so it will continue to grow. This is something that I can will to my children, should I choose to have children. It's a business that you are creating that's really just a distribution channel. And again, you get paid in direct reflections to lives that you're touching. But $1,000 a month would change a lot of households, especially for what's coming. Or what's here. I know there's a lot that's here right now. So what does that look like? It doesn't look like much. It looks like sharing ASEA with a handful of people. It's going to create $1,000 for you a month. And yes, it's work. Nothing's guaranteed, right? We're dealing with people. They might say no, they might say yes. But I can tell you, if you're consistent, if you're coachable, if you come to the calls, if you let me lead you, if you let me guide you, if you plug into the team, you have myself, who has learned to do this business over 8 years. You have someone like Jay, who is a brilliant business mind, who also understands social media on a totally different level, who was able to collapse time for himself, right? I helped him do that so that he could take all my knowledge and just, his skill set together. We did a lot. I can do the same thing with each of you, and Jay will too. And a whole team of people that you haven't even met yet. And that's the beauty of this. We want you to succeed. Like, there's no reason to struggle. There's absolutely not. That we live in an abundant world. There's an abundance of opportunity. Do what resonates with you. But I'll tell you what, this is something that has very little investment. If you're already drinking ASEA, you probably are already an associate. And because you're part of Guru's channel, you probably are getting what's called spillover from him, which means he's already helping you with the business. Like, a lot of you probably have a business and you don't even know that you have a business. So reach out. We can show you where to look. We can show you what to do. And it just means, like, he's helped you all. Like, Guru looks at this as a community. You're part of that community. And maybe sharing is for some of you. Maybe it's not for you. Dip a toe in. Come to Bootcamp. See what it's all about. See if you like it. You can always walk away and say no, but you don't know what you're saying no to.
Rihanna wants to know if you have to buy products to start. Well, not really. You could come to Bootcamp and just check it out. Absolutely. You could call Jay and just have a discussion with him.
Yeah. To be an associate, like if you wanted to share and earn, there is an account that it costs $40 to set it up, and you get a website, you get everything. And that's it annually. That's what it costs. So, Rihanna, yeah, reach out. I don't know. This platform is new, so I don't know where I can see what, but I'm sure Jay's number is somewhere. And we can reach out to Jay. He'll plug you in with me, with Bootcamp, with everything to get you going.
So they could go through Jay to find out Bootcamp, or do you want to put that? Should I post the link to Bootcamp, or? Yeah,
the link I have for Bootcamp is so people that are not on my team are having to pay for it. But everybody listening is likely on the team. So I don't want to put the link because then you guys might accidentally pay. You can just message me. You can put my number out there, Guru, if you want. I don't know how to put anything in the chat.
Okay. So, you want to give me your number?
Yeah, it's 443.
443.
454.
454.
6023. And that was my dog.
023. It sounds like a big dog. 6023. Okay, so let me post that.
And guys, if you want in, just put your email address and your first and last name and just say Bootcamp, and I'll get you all the details. We've got a Telegram channel. We've got a bunch of stuff for that. All right, I'm just going back to the chat.
Yeah, anyone you want me to post?
Oh, yeah, nice.
Okay, so we got that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's something you can do from home. You don't have to travel anywhere. this is, this is part of my message of my channel is like, we went through this long intel phase, and now it's time to build. It's time to move forward, to design a life that really works for you, where you can enjoy. I mean, the next phase of our development as a species, from what I'm understanding, is to learn how to enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's the next phase. I mean, and part of that is just being able to have a kind of a way of making money that is, in line with your feelings and your thoughts and your dreams.
Jay and April started saying this, and it really resonated with me. They call it the 5D economy. Helping other people become abundant will help you become abundant. And I think that's where we're going. We are moving as a collective community to help raise our own conscious level of awareness, to help raise the consciousness here on Earth. And in part of that, it's like this flow when we work together, when we open things up. Like all these people out there right now, you've helped them and they don't even know. Right. But you've put so much goodwill and good energy out in this business that now they will be helped if they decide to come into it. And then they will help you as they start to share. And it's just like this beautiful. I look at this business as like a team sport. I think a lot of times in business, it's like a dog eat dog. It's really intense. It's not like that at all. Like I'm incentivized to help every single person listening to win. I'm incentivized to do that. And I know through doing that, we're going to help people with their health. We're going to help people with their finances. We're entering into a phase where a lot of times people are trying to accumulate, right? They're growing their wealth. They're buying things. They're getting whatever their dreams are material wise. And I think now we're switching into a phase where people are worried about keeping what they have, because as prices go up, as things are looking more intense, they don't have the income to maintain this lifestyle they've created. And I want that for people. Like you can maintain and grow during this time. And what's super interesting is that during recessions, network marketing grows. It is an industry that, because it's home-based, because you can do it around what you're currently doing, because it's a very low upfront cost, anybody can get into it. And so we're about to hit a boom. We're about to be having a conversation where a lot of people are saying, do you know a way that I can earn an extra $500? Do you know a way I can earn an extra $1,000? Yes, you do. You absolutely do. And you have the best team. When I look at our lineage, when I explain to April and Jay, who is part of kind of the sequence of events that led ASEA to all of us, April started smiling. She said, Danielle, that's like a royal lineage. Like these are true professionals in the industry. I said, yeah, they are. They know what they're doing. We have such a solid company. In fact, I'll tell you this, if any of you are near Spokane, Washington, there's an event this weekend. It's happening on Friday and Saturday. Go. You can be my guest. I'll get you on the list for free. You can meet the people that are doing this. You can learn what it means to be a thousandaire. You learn the basics to do it. Get in the room like I did. Run it through your truth center. Is this something you want to be a part of? Reach out, text me. I'll get you on the list if you're near Spokane, Washington. We also have a day, we're going to be at the corporate office. If you want to go see the production facility, if you want to connect in with things, reach out to me. Let me know you want a seat at the table. I'll get you there. All right. This is something that, guys, if you take a step, I take 3. I'm ready to run with you, but if you don't take a step, I can't take a step with you. Nice, Cindy. Reach out, Cindy. I don't know if you're in touch with Jay or me. You have my phone number now in that chat, the 443 number. Reach out. We'll get you plugged in with all the support, to do the business.
Right. And Jay's number is in the show more. I don't know if it's in this particular, somehow Restream doesn't always put it out, but it's under all my videos is everything about ASEA, Jay's phone number. And you could just call Jay, make sure you leave your number and your email address, I believe. And
Yes.
He'll get back to you. But he's an unbelievable guy. He's an unbelievable businessman. I mean, I wish I had met somebody like him years ago, because he's
Me too.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And
I know.
you'll find out like, the real characteristics of success in anything. And a lot of people came on the channel for this chat, and they're already gone, and that's okay. The whole key, the whole reason why I'm even here is because I made a decision like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm making a video every single day. I don't care if anybody listens to it. Some days, and I remember many a day, I had, you know, 10 people listen to it, and I've and some, went up to 20, and I felt really, it was like, wow, that was a really good video, and I've had 80,000, I'm just saying, it's like I make a video every day. It's part of my life. And so too with anything you want to succeed in, it's not a matter of being the best looking, the richest, the most talented. I've seen it over and over again in my life. It's about just doing it every day. And that's really what, like I like sharing intel, it's very exciting. But at this point in the development of humanity, I think it's like we've had enough. We know what's going on. Let's build lives that really are joyous and help other people. We're helping the world. So that's it.
Yes. What you just said is everything. Consistency is key. Whatever you want to do, I'll give you the same coaching in this business. You want to grow online, consistently show up. It's like the success is there, and everyone you look at, you see the same clues. Jay and April, they've never given up. They make a decision and they do what it takes, and stuff falls in front of them. Unexpected things happen, doesn't matter. They're so clear on where they're going that the obstacle doesn't get in the way. And guys, that's mental toughness. And what I have learned is that in a business like this, in something like what you've done, Guru, you build these emotional resiliency, mental resiliency that allows you to then handle anything that life, the world, powers that be throw at us. We're unscathed. Like, it doesn't even jostle us. We're just like, it doesn't matter. I'm going this way. Like, you just keep moving. And when you're around people like that, like, how many of you guys listening are like around family that doesn't get it? You're around friends, people that are like, they think you're crazy. It's because you think differently. And it's okay to think differently. There's a whole lot of people. When I ran into people with ASEA, I was like, oh my God, here's my people. Like, they're looking at life differently. They also don't think a 9-to-5 is a good idea. Like, they're having conversations I've been having in my own head. And they've now done what I want to do. So let me learn from them. I hope that this reaches those it's meant to, Guru. I think we should have this conversation more and more because people just don't know. Like, we're not aware of what the options are, or we've been so polluted with the idea of what network marketing is that we've run away from it before we actually get a pulse on it. But, look at my character, look at your character. Why would people like us be involved in a sleazy thing? We wouldn't. It's like we see past the veil of what's been put to cloud it as like, wow, this empowers the people. That's why it's been pushed down. That's why it's been repressed. That's why it's something that a lot of people don't talk about or want to be talked about. It's why it's regulated a ton. The industry has to be very careful with the way the government pushes things on it. But this is something that will empower you to grow into the best version of you. And it's a beautiful thing. And I hope, Cindy, I hope Rihanna, anyone else that's listening, guys, reach out. I'm telling, the timing is beautiful. I'm about to give you everything that 8 years has been condensed into 21 days to push you forward and give you, a rocket takes like 90% of its fuel to get off the ground. Like, it's going to take some effort. But once you're there, you're like orbiting, and it's just beautiful. Life is network marketing. Yes, Rihanna, it is. We're all always sharing things. I have a recipe that I could tell you about. I've got a movie I watched. Like, we're all doing that. It's just now, like, I've never been paid by anyone that had a recipe online because I referred their recipe. Like, it's never happened. So now we get that. You get a little referral, a little thank you, which I think is the way it should work.
All right. So yeah, I think these things are healthy because that's what I had a friend who wanted to start a business with me, and he said, I'm afraid to start a business with you because if it doesn't work out or something happens, you won't be my friend anymore. And it's like it's just the opposite. It's like, if you want to get close to somebody, you're not going to be close by like, hey, how's it going? You're close because you lent me $5 last month, and I paid you back. I mean, that's how you develop a relationship. You don't develop a relationship by just, looking at somebody from 1,000 miles away. When you actually exchange ideas, exchange money, and that's why, like, I'm totally for this. I'm totally for network marketing. I'm totally for, like, helping people, helping members of my community really achieve prosperity in this world,
Yeah.
because it's tough out there, man. I mean, look, yeah, like, and also what you said, Danielle, about moving forward. Like, I have a schedule. My schedule involves making a video every day. So
Mhm.
when I lost 2 channels in the course of a week, I lost like
Mm.
60,000 people. It was like I didn't blink an eye. I'm like, I got stuff to do, man. I don't have time to, like, sit around and cry about it. I got
Yeah.
I got a life. And this is how we force our quantum universe on the universe. Really, we say, this is what I'm about, and this is what I'm doing. And if something's in my way, I'll jump over it. That's all. Um, and we just keep going. Be like Nakshan. I talk about this. There's the story, and I haven't talked about it lately, but I talked about it for like 3 years. The Jewish people were backed against the Sea of Reeds. God led them that way on purpose. He could have led them another way. They could have gotten, but their backs were to the sea. They had nowhere to go, and the army was coming down on them. The Egyptian army Pharaoh changed his mind. He says, "I'm not letting you guys go now, man. I'm taking you guys down now." So they were all coming, and the Jewish people were standing there terrified. And they were having an intellectual debate. Should we run? Should we try to run? Should we just jump in the sea and end it all? Should we fight? Should we surrender? Moses said, "Let's pray." And God said to Moses, "No." Yeah. He said, "Yeah, okay, pray, but you got to just keep moving." And one guy, the ancestor of Mashiach, Nachshon, the prince of the tribe of Yehuda, of the tribe that the Messiah comes from, he just kept going. He walked into the sea. He just said, "God said go, and I'm going." And when he got up to here, he cried out. He says, I'm going to drown." And the sea split.
Hmm.
So the lesson is, don't think about it. Just keep moving. And that's how I run. That's how Danielle runs her life. That's
Yeah.
how Jay, man. I mean, he's unflappable. I mean, we've had situations where I said, "Jay, I'm committing to something," and then I totally backed out of it. I mean, and he's just like, "Okay, no problem." It's just, and that's the way that we have to be like Nakshan. We have to just keep moving. And this is very much in line with that vision.
Yeah. And what do they say? Pray and move your feet, right? It's like, ask for it, set the intention, and then do everything in your power to go in the direction that you know you need to, and trust that, like, the path will open before your foot touches the ground. This is something, what I love is network marketing, honestly, Guru, has been part of my spiritual practice, because I have to apply the things that I learn, stories like that. It's like, that's when there's an intellectual knowing of a story like that, and then there is the knowing in my being because I've done it. And I will tell you that being part of this business, being part of something where I'm constantly dealing with people that say negative things to me, that promise me something and then do something else, that it's up and down. Like, the whole business is up and down. But I have learned, like, it's like a roller coaster. I just don't get off the ride. I'm like, we're up now, we're going down later. Like, it's the law of polarity at its best. And it's these spiritual practices, like, it just gets exemplified. Like, I get to actually use them in my work, in my business, and it's made me stronger mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because of the work I do, because that's a playground for me to apply these concepts that, the philosophers have taught us. But again, if there's this kind of knowing, and then there's an in your heart knowing. And when you know it in your heart, it changes you on, like, the soul level. And I want other people to access that. I don't know another path. Like, this has been my path. And so I can show this path. I can teach this path. I can help you explore this path. I know there's lots of paths in life, but if you're still on here listening, I have a hunch this path might be yours. So text me and let's get you into boot camp. Let's get you around the fire.
Cool. All right. Yeah. I see we're down to 39, but this thought will live, and we'll probably get another, probably almost 1,000 people over the time. But if you got to listen to this, man, it's all, for me, it's all about actualizing. We can look at Intel all day long, every day of the week, and we're not going to change a thing. Knowing what day we're all going to be liberated on, debating about it, getting nervous. I mean, it's for me, it's a waste of energy. I've been doing it for years now. I want to produce something lasting. I want to help others produce something. Like I always say, like it's not for me to be successful is not me winning. What for the whole community to be successful. That's what it's really about. It's about us. And that's what network marketing really fits in with the us idea. And I really just feel like, be like Nakshan, actualize your life. Don't think about, if I only won the lottery, if only, oh yeah, the other one is the XRP, I got the XRP, so everything's okay. You know, I had, I'm going to reveal this. I had 300,000 coins of XRP, 300,000, which is, that's everyone's dream to have that. It was taken from me. It was conned out of me in an instant. I lost it, everything. That was that was a lot of my retirement. I kept moving on. I'm moving on, but I'm just saying, like, you think you have a few things of XRP, or you have some, whatever it is, you have to put your eggs in a lot of baskets. You have to, you have to have different income streams, and network marketing for me is like unbelievable. And it's like for me, I lost 2 channels in 1 week. I lost everything. I was making a nice income off YouTube, and then they said, okay, you're not politically correct for us. You're out. So thank God I had already started with Jay and Danielle, and I had started with LifeWave, and I'm starting now with Porium, and I'm doing these things, and these are bringing me incomes. I started with Jason Shirka. I started, putting my things on his channel. I started with the Gnostic channel. I have little bits of money coming in. So when YouTube said, like, you're out, I'm like, okay, man, I'll make it. I'll get through it.
Beautiful. You're a living example. And I also think there's a level of getting connected even deeper as a community. The people that I work with, it's like when you struggle together and you learn together, you grow together, there's like this interwoven connectedness it's incredible. And I think there's a lot of people that have felt isolated. And what I've loved about the community with ASEA is the connections are so strong. Like I was just up in Charlotte with a bunch of people this weekend, and it was like seeing a bunch of aunts and uncles. Like it was like a family reunion. Some people I haven't even seen in 3 years because I've just seen them on screens, because we've been separated. We finally got to get together, and it's so beautiful. And I want other people to have that. Like it's out there. And if it would be wonderful to connect you with it. So thanks for having me on, Guru.
Okay, thanks so much, Danielle. And thank everyone for coming. And we're going to make it kind of a regular thing on Wednesdays. Yeah, I mean, you or your mom or Jay or
let's do it.
Well, we're going to do I'd like to do a regular ASEA Wednesday on now it's the Ellie Weber channel. I'm not the Kabbalah Guru anymore. I got that was taken from me. But okay, so thanks, Danielle, and thanks everyone for coming. And we'll see you tonight.
All right.
God bless.